we're back. This is Elliot Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here on the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. It took me a while to get to this book. I don't know why. In fact, just now, I quite literally read this before we started recording this segment just because I had to know what happened. But for those of you who've been following us, you know that we love Invincible, and Invincible number 64, the conclusion of the Conquest storyline took place. And what happened as I was sitting here reading it, Jose heard me exclaim several times, "Oh man! Oh man! Oh man!" This is one of those books that, yet again, Robert Kirkman ratchets up the tension and ratchets it up and ratchets it up and then gives you just a pretty gruesome payoff. If you haven't read it, okay, I've been doing this to everything here.
It only came out 4 weeks ago.
It only came out 4 weeks ago, but if you haven't read it, stop now, because I'm going to discuss in detail what happened in this book, because I just found it that damn entertaining, okay? So stop now. All right, so, in essence, what occurs? Conquest takes both of Mark's hands. I mean, he broke his one arm in the last issue. Mm-hmm. And Invincible has the other hand. So what does Conquest do? He breaks that hand. So he has not. I mean, he's essentially flailing with no arms. So how does Mark ultimately beat Conquest? He bites him and chews a chunk out of him. Adam Eve, who was not dead as we thought she was. He didn't break one of his arms, dude. No, it's right here. Remember, he this arm's messed up, okay? This arm's totally messed up. See how it's, right. And then when he goes to punch him, Conquest catches it and he, crunches his hand.
Where's that?
It's right here.
Oh, that's all the way towards the middle, though.
Yeah, but then, that's there, but right there, see?
Oh, yeah.
See? So he mangles his hand, right?
Right.
So what does that leave Mark with? He beats him to death with his head. He headbutts him over and over and over and over again. It is, you know what? It is, it's gruesome, it's visceral, and I hate to say it, it was also like funny as all hell. It was like total Three Stooges to the extreme. But this book pulled out all the stops as far as carnage and explosions. And where in other books, I'm sorry, it seems like when you read, we've said this before, when you read superhero battles in other comic books, there doesn't seem to be any real logical progression in it. And this has been a battle. The battle between Invincible and Conquest has been a logical progression over 3 issues. Mm-hmm. And you get to the payoff of the battle, but I know that there's a lot more to come after this. And then you have the at the very end when the dust has settled. I'm sorry, but that was, the get cute moment that they have at the end, meet cute moment at the end between Mark and Adam Eve. You think they're going to say something really, really profound, and it's just very, very clever. So Robert Kirkman, yet again, he's proven to me that he's just a really good writer. He's a really good writer when it comes to this type of character. And it makes me wonder, I know Kirkman has done a lot in the mainstream books. He's done a lot of Marvel stuff. Has Kirkman done any DC stuff? He hasn't written any DC stuff, has he? No. If you could give Kirkman the opportunity to bring his voice, truly bring his voice to some of the mainstream characters. When I read this, I really would love to see Kirkman's take on Spider-Man. I really would. But if he's really allowed to bring his voice to it, I would like to see Kirkman take a crack at some DC characters.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kirkman write Booster Gold.
Booster Gold would be fun. Booster Gold would be a lot of fun because, Kirkman has the ability to write some really fun stuff.
I would say Blue Beetle too, the Ted Cord, but he's dead.
You can bring him back. Come on,
Well,
comics.
he is coming back as a Black Lantern.
Is he? Oh, that's right. And
Spoiler. Sorry about that.
speaking of Booster Gold, the latest issue of Booster Gold just came out with G4 fangirl Blair Butler on the cover. And what was the purpose of that? I think it was just to sell books.
Well, I think it was to sell books, but it's also, I've heard people say that it is something that Booster Gold would approve of, because Booster Gold is all about shilling.
He's about shilling, that's true.
Yeah. And promoting himself.
Does she appear at all in the book?
No, she's just on the cover.
She's just on the cover. Yeah. I get it, and I was looking at the racks over here, and normally you can find...
Sexist.
You can find... you can find issues of Booster Gold, a lot of back issues, but this one's almost gone. I mean, there are only like a couple copies of this issue of Booster Gold, which goes to show the fanboy, the fanboy impulse. You put a pretty girl on the cover, they'll buy it.
There's just not any pretty girl.
No,
it's a pretty girl who reviews comics.
And
she's a big nerd.
Yeah, she's a big nerd and a hot nerd at that. So, but that you have two different, I guess, dichotomies here. You have a book like Invincible that, is well known, is recognized, and has a very, solid product. It's a very well put together book. And that's not to in any way intimate that Booster Gold is not an equally well put together book. But, then you got the stunt here with, Blair Butler on the cover. Not that, if Blair Butler wants to appear on the cover of one of my books, I'm not going to complain. But what are we trying to say here about what selling books is about and what we should be looking for in our books? I mean, are we looking for the pretty cover, or are we looking for the gory interior? This book is really gory and bloody. It is. It's really, really gory and bloody. How many copies do you think this Booster Gold's going to sell? Where do you think it's going to rank?
Not in the top 100.
You don't think it's where is Booster Gold right now as far as...
I have no idea, but it's not anywhere near the top 100.
I'd be surprised. I'd like to think this thing's going to... I think it will crack the 100. I bet you it cracks the top 50. You think? This was not like a really heavy week, too.
Yeah, not a heavy week, because 3 Blackest Night books came out, and
they all came out
number 1 came out, and
they all came out.
2 Ultimates books came out. Uncanny X-Men came out.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Not a heavy week. Jesus.
Well, it's not 47 friggin' Marvel books, that's for sure. I don't know. The business of selling comics I always get a chuckle out of it, because we're always trying to figure out what is the thing that's going to get people to pick up that book, to pick it up, to buy it, to take it home, to read it. And if something like this causes a spike in the sales of a Booster Gold book, I'd expect to see more of that. What about Olivia Munn? Why isn't Olivia Munn on the cover of anything? Have you seen her? She's been dressed as... Well, you had her as Wonder Woman on our blog. Mm-hmm. So, I'm surprised she hasn't done...
Well, but Blair Butler is known in the comics community, and that's why Blair Butler is on the cover of Booster Gold. Because comic guys know who Blair Butler is, and that's why she's on there.
Okay.
She's a fangirl, she's in the industry, and it's one of those inside jokes that fanboys would get.
Ah, okay. Because there are other fangirls in the comic community, too, that fanboys recognize, but you don't see them they don't put them on the cover. I mean, come on, she's one of the faces of G4. So it's not like she's just a fangirl.
But she's brought comic books into the mainstream. Like, you don't see... I don't know of any other TV shows, like, regular... I'm sorry, like any in cable or even regular syndicated shows where they actually review comic books to everybody. She's the only person that I think that's doing it. I mean, yeah, you have like video game stuff like game trailers on Spike, but there's nobody talking about comics on TV, period. And she is the one person who is. So it makes sense to me that's why she's on here.
Okay.
She's helped expose comics to a majority of people who wouldn't think twice about comics.